Hey guys, here we go. Video number 3. We're talking about the second topic, which is how to graph a quadratic function and interpret that graph. And good news again here is we've already worked on this before when we did the transformation section in chapter 1. So just remind you, okay, some facts about graphing. First of all, when you're going to graph something, change it to vertex form first, because that's the easiest form to graph from. And then when you have the vertex form, the vertex comes from that h and k values. Oops, that's a typo. Sorry, I just realized this should say k. I'll fix it in your notes before I upload them. Okay, so that's your vertex right there. And then we talked about that in the previous video already, right? Other things to know, if your a value here, the a value, it's a different color. If a value is positive, bigger than 0, the parabola opens upwards. So it looks something like this. You're happy, you're a smiley face. And if a is negative, if it's less than 0, then it opens downwards. So you're sad, you got a sad face if it's down. Yeah, so negative, you look sad. Positive, you're looking up. Okay, the minimum and maximum, or minimum or maximum, occurs at the vertex. So it's going to be minimum if your parabola is opening upwards. That's pretty obvious, right? Because you're right here at a low point. And the vertex is a maximum if your parabola is opening downwards. We also have the line of symmetry at x equal to h. That h comes from the same spot, the vertex, right? So the line, that vertical line that passes right through the vertex, think about this line right here. That would split the parabola into two mirror images, two symmetric sides, right? So that is the line of symmetry, axis of symmetry. One thing, remember, vertical lines have the equation x equal to a number. To me, that's also one of those things we talked about, like we talked about before, that's a little counterintuitive because you think about horizontal as being x, right? But the reason why it's x equal to h for a vertical line is because all along this vertical line, the x value is whatever the h is, right? The x doesn't change. X is the horizontal coordinate, the x coordinate is all the same for all points along this vertical line. So x equal to a number, that's the vertical line. X equal to h is the specific line that divides your parabola in two. Now there are a couple other things that you can note about parabolas, like where are they increasing, decreasing, but those things are pretty obvious just by inspection. So we're gonna jump straight into the questions now. And we're going from questions 9 through 15 in this video. Okay, first thing you notice about questions 9 through 15, numbers 9 through 12, these first 4 questions are all actually references to the very first 4 questions that we did. So they're exactly the same. Like look back here. Here's question number 1, y equals x squared minus 6x. Here's number 9, x squared minus 6x. The same equation. And in the first part, questions 1 through 4, we wrote these in their vertex form, right? So I just copied and pasted all those here. Here's the vertex forms for each of those 4 first problems. So now that they're in vertex forms, that means it's set up for us to graph very easily. So let's try number 9 first. Okay, we're gonna start with the graph and then answer all those questions. Okay, so let me draw my XY coordinate system first. Here's X, here's Y. Okay, our vertex. Here's x minus h plus k, right? K is negative 9, h is negative 3, so that means, I'm sorry, no, h is positive 3 because it's minus h, right? So our vertex is at 3, 9, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and up by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's your starting position. Now this is positive, a is positive 1. If there's nothing, it's like there's an invisible 1, right? So that means you're opening up upwards. If you go 1 to the left, you're going to climb 1 up, and 1 to the right, you're also going to climb 1 up. Okay, so your parabola looks something like this. I don't know why sometimes it draws it fuzzy like that. It has to do with like my palm pressure on the tablet or something. Okay, so there you go. There's my sketch of my parabola. That's the first step graph. Determine the vertex. Vertex, we already said, right? It's 3, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was off. What am I thinking? This is negative 9. Sorry, try that again. Negative 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Someone was like drooling, about to get extra credit there. Sorry to disappoint you. I corrected myself. So, positive 1 as you go 1 left or 1 right, yeah? Something like this. Oops. And actually, let's be a little more accurate here. If I go 8 up, that's 4 up, I mean. If I go square, 2 squared is 4. So if I go left 2, I'm going to go 4 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And same thing on the right side, yeah? Right there. Okay, so the parabola looks something like something like this. So that's the graph. Vertex we said was 3, -9. Okay. That's the vertex. Is it opening up or down? Opening up. And where's the max? It's the max or min. It's the min at 3, -9 at the vertex. Axis of symmetry is at x equal to whatever the x coordinate is, which in this case is 3. That would be this line here, right? X equal to 3. That was not a vertical line, so let me draw a vertical line. Okay, it's not correcting my line. Try that again. Oh, come on. You know, I'm just gonna do dotted lines. So let's switch to this. Here's axis of symmetry at x equal to 3, right there. Okay, what else? Domain and range. Okay, let's do that in blue. Domain is all real numbers, -infinity to +infinity. And the range, everything that's above -9, right? -9 to infinity. Okay, increasing, decreasing. So we're decreasing until we hit the vertex, so -infinity up until 3. And you're increasing from 3 onwards. Okay, what about x and y intercepts? So x and y intercepts, that's where your your x or y value will be 0. So remember they're opposite, right? So this is the one case I'm going to do some work algebraically. So here's the x-intercept. I'm going to plug in y equal to 0. So 0 is equal to, let's use my original equation, x squared minus 6x. So 0 is equal to, just factor this out, that's x minus 6. That means x is equal to 0 or 6. Yeah? Okay. So x is 0, 6. Those are the x-intercepts, and intercepts at 0, 0, or what is it? 6, 0. Okay, the y-intercept is where x is equal to 0. So if I plug in x equal to 0, here I'm using this original formula, yeah? Then what I get 0. So that's the 0.00. Okay, so looking at that, that means my graph was a little off. It should have actually passed through this point here, yeah? And then on here it should be at 6, 0. So actually that one looks okay. But the left side should have been like this, or like that. Okay, that's a correction. Okay, so let's just make sure we did everything. We graphed it. You got the vertex opening upwards. You got a minimum at the vertex. Axis of symmetry is x equal to 3. Domain and range, yep, increasing, decreasing, x and y intercepts. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. That's question number 9 then. Number 9 is done. On to the next question. Yeah, it's looking like to me, maybe the hardest part of this question is probably just finding the x and y intercepts, which is, to do that, you just plug in 0 for x or y and solve, right? Solve for the other guys. So if you want the x-intercept, you plug in 0 for y, solve for x. And if you want the y-intercept, you plug in 0 for x, and then solve for y. All right. Number 9 is done. On to number 10. Let's graph first. So I'm using my vertex form to make the graph. That's the one that you see in red next to number 10. 3x minus 2 squared minus 11. So the vertex here would be 2, -11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I know those aren't perfectly spaced, but it's just a sketch. Okay, and then that coefficient of 3 is positive, so it's opening upwards. And remember from what we learned with transformations, where normally I'd go left 1, up 1, because it's a 3, I'm going to go left 1, up 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here, and same thing on the right. Right 1 and up 3. Okay, normally when I have 2 left or right, 2 squared is 4. So normally I'd go up 4, but this time I'm going to go up 12. 3 times 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's over here. And it looks like I also found my y intercept by accident just now. Okay, there it is. Okay, like that. That's the sketch. Vertex is here at 2 comma negative 11. It's opening up, and it's got a min at the vertex 2 negative 11. It's got an axis of symmetry with the AOS for axis of symmetry, and that's x equal to 2. Its domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity, like most of these are. The range is from negative 11 and upwards. Okay, where are we increasing? Well, decreasing first. Decreasing from negative infinity up until 2, and increasing after that, 2 to infinity. Oops, sorry guys. Got to turn off my notifications again. Okay. So last thing is x and y intercepts. Yeah. So the one little harder thing. Let's do x-intercepts first. That's when y is equal to 0. So I'm going to look at... I'm just going to look at this. Okay. For this part, you can, because you're solving for when the equation equal to 0, you can actually just plug into the quadratic formula as well. So I've got 0 equals to 3x squared minus 12x plus 1, right? So let's use the quadratic formula this time. So x equals to negative b, which is 12, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 144, minus 4 times 3 times 1 is all over 2 times 3. Okay, so x equals to 12 plus or minus square root of 144 minus 4 times 3 is 12. That's 122. Oh, that looks like an ugly number. And let's see. I'm gonna bust out my calculator for this one. 144 minus. Actually, I'm thinking. Oh, I'm sorry. I subtracted wrong. That's 132. Okay, that's all over 6. Okay, so this is gonna be. Let's just do decimal approximation here. So I'm gonna do 12 minus the square root of 132 and divide by 6. Okay, so if I do the minus one, 12 minus square root of 132, divide by 6, I get approximately 0.0851. Or if I do plus, it's going to be 12 plus square root of 132 divided by 6, which is about 3.9. Okay, does that match what we have here? Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that it crosses at 4, 1. So right before you hit there, you're not quite at 4. So yeah, that makes sense. And on the left side, we know it crosses at the the y-axis at 0, 1. So before you hit that, you're right before 0. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that means our x-intercepts. What are x-intercepts? 0.0851 comma 0, and this is 3.91. X is actually 149. Or so this other one would be 3.9149 comma 0. That's the x-intercepts. Okay, the y-intercepts, that's an easy one because you just plug in x is equal to 0. And you get, what is this? Y equals 3 times 0 squared minus 12 times 0 plus 1, which is just 1. So the y-intercept is going to be 0, 1. Okay, that's easier. Much easier. And that's number 10. All right. These questions are turning out to be longer than I anticipated just because of the x and y-intercept part. Which is like, it's kind of lame because I feel like that's almost it's almost like an addendum to the main part of the question. But that's all right. Yes, us to find it, so let's find it. Okay, that's 2 down. And a bunch more to go. So number 11, start with the graph. Graphing part, it's pretty easy. This time, it's x plus 1 squared plus 10. Plus 1 means you're actually at negative 1. And then plus 10 is plus 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here, -2 means you're opening downwards, and instead of going left 1 down 1, you go left 1 down 2 because it's a 2. Left 1 down 2, and that's going to cross that axis right there. And it's going to open up something like this. Okay, something like that. Oops, that was ugly. Okay, just a quick sketch. So the vertex is -1, comma +10. Okay, it's opening down this time, right? It's got a max this time at the vertex, and axis of symmetry, AOS, that's x equal to -1 this time. Okay, moving on. Domain range, okay, domain's gonna be almost always the same. There's no restrictions on the domain. It's always -infinity, +infinity, and the range, everything below 10 this time. Stop doing that. What's happening? There we go. The range is from -infinity up until 10. Yeah. Okay. And so increasing, decreasing. Okay. So it's increasing this time first. Yeah. From -infinity up until you hit -1. And then after that, it's decreasing from -1 onwards. All right. Now for the x and y intercepts. So the x intercepts first. This is when y is equal to 0. So I'm solving this equation. 0 is equal to -2x squared minus 4x plus 8. And we're going to plug it straight into our quadratic formula. So it's -b, which is +4, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 16, minus 4 times -2 times 8, 4ac. All over 2 times a, which is -2. Okay, and 16, this is a minus, a negative, so 16, it's going to be 16 plus that. Let's see, 2 times 4 is 8 times 8, 64. So 64 plus 16 gives me 80. So I got 4 plus or minus the square root of 80 over -4. Okay, let's do that. So 4, let's do the minus first. So 4 minus the square root of 80. And divided by -4. So x is -1 point. Oh, I'm sorry. No, not negative. Positive. X is 1.2361, or if I do the plus, that's going to be 4 plus the square root of 80 divided by -4. That's -3.2361. Okay, so what are the x-intercepts then? 1.2361, 0, or -3.2361, 0. Okay. And what about the y-intercept now? So the y-intercept. This is when x is equal to 0. So I'll just plug in 0 for x, easy. Y is equal to -2, 0 squared minus 4, 0 plus 8. And so y just ends up being 8. Yeah. Actually, you can tell it really quickly for the y-intercept. You just whatever that number is right there. Okay. So that means the intercept is at 0,8. Does that match what we said it was? Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's that point right there. Okay, sweet. Hey, one more down. Okay, this is starting to take a long time, so I think what I'll do is I'll do one more question, and then we'll cut this video off here, guys. Does that mean we're gonna have 5 this week? Maybe. Maybe I should have done that introduction video with the first set of questions together, yeah? I shouldn't have split those. But whatever, what's done is done. Let's just move on. Alright, let's do one more for this video, and then we need a little break after that. And I'm recommending for you guys to take a break too. Okay, number 12. So we just did number 11. Okay, we're gonna again focus on the vertex form that we worked so hard to find in order to get this graph here. Here's x, here's y. And this time it's 3 halves, x plus 3 halves. That means the intercept is at -3 halves. So here's 1, here's 2. 3 halves would be right in the between, right? 1, 2, 3 halves. So that'd be right over here, right in between. So So there, and then plus a fourth. You know what we should actually do, guys? We should change our scale here. Let's change our scale. So these tick marks are going to be 1/4 marks. That way the tick marks will actually match, right? So this will be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. That's 1. This would be -1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4. That's 1. And then 5/4, 6/4. That's 6/4 is actually -3/2. So this is where we're starting here. Plus 1/4 is 1/4 up. So this is right here. This is just 1. That's where we're starting. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is at 1. And this will be -1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative. So I'm splitting my tick marks into fourths just to match kind of the graph that I have here in this case. Okay, so that's the starting position, and we're opening it upwards because the A is positive, right? And it's +1, which means I'm gonna go right 1, up 1, but in this case, 1 is a matter of 4 tick marks, right? Because these are all fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So that means me right here. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. And same to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks to the left, and then 1 up here, which is 4 tick marks. Okay, and then I open upwards like that. Like that. Okay. Okay. So let's answer our questions now. Starting with the vertex. What is the vertex? Vertex was -3/2, 1/4. That's this position. Okay, what is it? Up or down? It's up. And is that a max or min? It's a min. Min at -3/2, 1/4. Again, just the vertex. Yeah, axis of symmetry. That's x equal to whatever the x value is, -3/2. And domain range. Domain, always for these quadratics, you can plug in anything. So -infinity to +infinity. And the range, whatever the y value is, which is a fourth, and since opening upwards, everything above that. You're decreasing until you hit the x value at the vertex. So it's from -infinity up until -3/2. And then you're increasing after that, from -3/2 onwards. Okay, now for the hard part, x-intercepts. Hard-ish part. Yeah, this is something I think you're gonna just plug into your calculator, right? Just plug into the quadratic formula. This is, I'm gonna plug in 0 for y. Oh, what am I doing? Why am I saying 12? This is the x-intercepts. And y is equal to 0. So I've got 0 equal to x squared plus 3x plus 5/2. So that means x is equal to -3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a is 1 times c, which is 5/2. Oh, nice thing is this actually becomes a whole number there. All over 2a. 2a is 2 times 1. Okay, so simplify a little bit. This is -3 plus or minus square root of 9 minus 4 times 5 divided by 2. 4 times 5 divided by 2 is going to be 10. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, actually, I should have known this without even looking. Okay. So what happens here, guys, is look. Here, this is an imaginary number, right? 9 minus 10 is negative, and you can't take a square root of negative. So you have 3 plus or minus I over 2, where I is the square root of -1. But that means there's no real solution. And if I just had thought about it more carefully, I would have known that, because look at my graph. Where's the graph crossing the x-axis? Well, the graph is going upwards, so it's never crossing the x-axis. So I could have just done that by inspection, actually, and said there's no x-intercepts. Shucks, I did extra work. Okay, what about the y-intercepts? This is when x equal to 0, and it's looking at my original formula. Oops. That means this guy's gone. This guy's gone. So you're left with the 5/2, right? So let's skip to the chase here. It's 0, 5/2. So that's what this is here. Yeah, let's see if that matches up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, my tick marks are not really accurate, so it's not really working. Actually, no, it's pretty close. So 5/2 is 2.5. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's where it would be. Yeah. Okay, there it is. First 4 questions from this area, and let's take a break here because this is getting long.